Call meeting in order. Please rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, disclosure of actual or potential conflicts of interest.
There are none.
There are none. Okay, before we have communication from the public, I have to read the policy for participation at board meetings. The Bannock County School Board recognizes and respects the input provided by the public on school district matters. This public input must take place during the designated public participation time excuse me, at the beginning of the monthly regular scheduled board meeting. Prior to the beginning of the board meeting, an individual who desires to speak during the designated public participation time must verbally or in writing inform the superintendent, the business manager, or the board president of the person's desire to speak and the topic upon which the person intends to speak. The requesting party must sign a form with their name, address, email, or phone number, and the topic to be addressed. During the time designated for public participation, the board president will recognize the person who signed up to speak, and the person may speak on the identified topic. The identified speaker will be given 5 minutes to present comments to the school board. Person speaking during the designated public participation time at a regular school board meeting must not cause public inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm to the school board or any person, and shall not engage in threatening behavior, make unreasonable noise, be disruptive, boisterous, argumentative, or threatening. Shall not make comments which are disrespectful to one or more persons, and shall not use profanity. Do we have that list?
It's over there. You want it?
Yeah. Okay, Christina?
Yes.
The topic to be addressed is positive behavior, intervention, support, volunteering help.
Yes.
Okay, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. We inherited a kid in May. He was just kind of dropped off. I came down to help my parents, and the child had been there for about 5 days. Wasn't speaking, has had a really hard time adjusting, lots of trauma and abuse. I had come from Alaska. My folks needed help. I was doing some remodeling and cleaning, and the kid was my sidekick. So all summer, we worked hard. He was excited to meet kids here in Martin, around his own age, and not have a 43-year-old best friend. And my parents as his only companions. He started school. He really liked it. The second day of school, he got detention because him and another kid were messing around. He said gay, and then he was sent to the principal and got detention, right? I understand. You can't say stuff like that. I get it, right? He's still struggling. So we asked to have a meeting, because every day he's coming home and telling stories about how hard his day was and how anxious he is, and he can't sleep at night because he's terrified of a certain teacher, and this teacher was complaining about him too. And so I'm like, you know, I do this for work. I work with handicapped kids, and I've worked from preschool all the way up through 22 years old when they can graduate and leave the system, and nonverbal and autistic kids, and fetal alcohol syndrome kids, and I'm a behavior support specialist at home. I didn't bring any of my paperwork because I didn't figure I'd be going to school. but I ended up back in 8th grade. So, had a meeting on Tuesday with Collenbach and Miss Brissy. Miss O'Brien joined us at the end. They said he was disruptive and had lots of behaviors. He was talking and sleeping in class, using bad words, messing around, joking, putting fingers in wax, bad partners in groups, insults teachers and adults, walks behind desks and gets into their personal space. He's late or tardy, he forgets stuff and leaves class, he hides in the bathroom. Sneaking Chromebooks and computers, not turning in work, hiding. He got caught vaping in the bathroom. And more. There was just more. And so I asked, can I come to school and volunteer and see what's happening and help him be successful? I don't want him to get some bad reputation and be this nasty kid running around terrorizing Martin, South Dakota. He's not that guy. He goes to church, he helps at home, he's loving and kind. He's weird, he is, but he's a 14-year-old boy. They're all kind of weird, you know, and figuring out who you're gonna be in life. I get it. So, I went to help. Principal said, yes, for sure, come and help. Rizzy said, yes. Kalmbach said, yes. Loreno said, yeah, I'm having all these problems. Come, please, help. Mr. Glass was like, who are you? I'm like, hi, I'm Chrissy. I'm just here to watch. So for Wednesday and Thursday, I watched and I observed. And I didn't see, he wasn't happy that I came to school. He wasn't happy that I followed him around. He took my schedule. He tried to lose me. I persevered and kept going. And, you know, when he was getting tired and laying his head down and not doing the right thing, I'd kindly and quietly, you know, remind him. And Kalmbach said, I don't want you following him around and picking on him and making him feel like you're singling him out. If you're going to be in my classroom, I'd like you to help all the kids and support all the kids. If they need help or they need something, help everyone. And that's my game motto. Like, I started going to first grade with my 6-year-old nephew in Alaska. You help the whole class. You can't just help one kid. So I had no problem with that. And I let the teachers do the disciplining and the interventions and the stuff. But I quietly sat and watched for 2 days in each of the classes and the hallways and the lunchroom. And I stuck around. And then I was told, you know, you should do a sub-packet and do your fingerprints if you're gonna keep coming. And I said, okay, no problem. So I did. And I turned in all the paperwork and all the stuff at the district office, and I got my fingerprints all done. And then I was told that I had to not come back until after the school board meeting and get permission from the school board to go in and support these kids. So, I'm not sure what I did wrong or who I upset, but I was offering correction when it was needed. So if we were coming back from the lunchroom and we were waiting outside that door, right? And one kid was ramming all the other kids up against the wall. I said, hey, knock it off. Not anything mean. I didn't touch him. I didn't scream at him. I just called him by name and said, you gotta knock it off. Not safe, not cool, right?
Let me interrupt you for a minute.
Yeah.
Your 5 minutes are up, but I'm gonna give you a couple more minutes extension.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
So, there was a few more times when they were not following directions in class. The substitute, Mrs. Fredericks, had asked the children after a spelling test to work on missing work or read a library book. And probably 6 or 8 kids sat in the back of the class and they were very loud and talking and looking up people on the computer but not working. And there were many kids at their desks and one kid on the floor that was trying to work and get some missing work done. And I let 5 minutes go by, I let 10 minutes go by, and I said exactly. I'm inviting you all to go back to your desks. You're being very loud and disruptive. There are kids trying to work. The teacher said you can read a book or you can work on missing work. At which point, 2 by 2, the kids all went off to the library to get a book. And so in the next class, in Mr. Glass's class, one of the children that I had corrected was very upset and sitting the next table away from me and was complaining loudly about, who do I think I am? And I can't talk to them that way. Blah, 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 blah. And it's just, there's no respect. And Mr. Glass said, hey, what's going on? Because I said, I can hear you, I'm right here. Like, I can hear you, that's not cool. And Mr. Glass said, you will not be rude and disrespectful to teachers in my school. No. And I was grateful for the intervention and stuff, but like, where's the positive behavior and supports intervention? It takes, like, if a kid is late, you don't know what their home life is like. They come in the same clothes every day. They're not sleeping good. They're tired. They finally get there. They're late. Like, I'm in science. We're in 2 periods of the day, right, already. And she finally shows up. And instead of being welcomed, and I'm glad you made it today. I know you're late. Whatever. It's, where were you? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh. And the other kids are like making fun of her accent and mimicking her. English is not her first language. So it was just very rude. And I called it out and I said, that's rude. So then he grabbed his hand and he said, how do you kill a retard? Right? It's not okay. And like, I wrote everything down. And I'm emotional about it. Because it's hard and it's 8th grade and I know they're young and I know they're figuring it out. But it's like, it's not fair. And I walked around and I saw all the unfairness and the kids that were getting called out for putting their head down quietly on their desk or working on their missing work, or instead of watching the movie Harry Potter that they'd seen 100 times at home or in other situations, you know, they read the book but now they get to watch the movie, but they're working on other missing assignments because you got to do polka dots and plot coordinates for 100 points. Why not get it done? You're just watching a movie. Right? So like,
your time's up, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you 30 seconds just to wrap up.
I appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Michael, you were gonna talk?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I've got son on here.
Yes, sir.
Say kid.
So, I'm Michael Christensen. For those of you that don't know me, I work over at the hospital. I'm here as a parent of a new 14-year-old Lakota young man that has come into my life that I am God parenting. He is my son. I have the legal documents that allow me to be his guardian. And he is the young man that my daughter Chrissy has been talking about. I'm here to carry forward from my own perspective some of what I have observed and interacted. I also went to the middle school. There are some passionate, wonderful educators that you have working for you that are helping to teach a difficult group of kids that come from a very diverse background. You know that better than I. I'm new to this community. I've only been here 3 years, but we now have a Lakota young man that's part of that different color and different culture and different upbringing. And he's a difficult kid. He's not a perfect kid. But when he's coming home and telling me, and I'm following him, where's your homework? How come it's not done? Then we took the next step, and we missed parent teachers, so we asked if we could meet with the teachers where he was struggling the most, with Miss Rissy, and man, just great teachers, very open to us, coming and volunteering. I said, what can I do? I have a daughter who's trained in this, who can interact with kids. We just want to help. We want to help the school system. We want to help Miss O'Brien, wonderful principal. She took time to meet with us, to meet with the kids. I observed her interacting with difficult kids and kids with special needs and normal kids, and just an outstanding educator. But I then was told that by the superintendent, who I called, that the superintendent does not want parents in the classroom observing what's happening in the classroom, and certainly does not want them on an extended basis where they could observe problems in the classroom. that we're welcome to come momentarily, once in a while, for a moment, but clarified 4 times with him that he does not want me in my son's classroom observing what's happening with my son, which is a problem for me. I don't believe that's the standard that you as a board have determined is the standard. Now, I understand it'd be disruptive if every parent just came and showed up and wanted to be there, but to be told that I'm not welcome in class, he does not want me taking notes or observing what's happening in my son's class, and that it would be best if we waited for the school board to approve anyone coming in to volunteer. I know that has not been the community standard. I know you have volunteers who have never come to you as a school board and asked if you could volunteer to help. We don't want to change the world, we just want to help the kids, particularly those kids who are struggling the most. The superintendent has told me that's not welcome. The principal, the teachers, the special ed teachers have all said they need that help. So I'm here to get some clarification and to offer how can we, as a community and a school board and the superintendent, clarify that help is needed in your school system, that some help could be beneficial, and that we're not singling out individuals and saying, because you corrected my daughter, you can't come back into that class, which is what's happening here. So, I'm asking you to help clarify for me what I can do for my son, what my daughter who's educated may be able to do, and if indeed it's the school board policy that parents are not welcome to observe their students or their children in classroom settings, and that we have to come to school board to ask permission to go in the classroom more regularly than once every 6 months, because that is what Mr. Frederick confirmed 6 times during the conversation I had with him.
Your 5 minutes is up, sir.
Thank you, appreciate you allowing me to speak. I think the school board, you're great people, you volunteer. I think you need to know from down and dirty perspective from people that may be more willing to stand up and say something than the people that are sometimes less open. A lot of people are afraid of coming in a meeting like this and speaking their mind about kids. I had a lot of people from my work say, if you're going, you bring that message, because I'm afraid to go and talk to them, but tell me how it turns out.
We thank you for being here. Maria?
That would be me. I'm way more emotional because he's my kid. When he was 2 years old, Michael and I flew to South Dakota with the mother that adopted them to pick him and his sister up because of an abuseful home life that they were living in. They were put in foster care, and there's a Native American law that says they can only be adopted by their family members if they could find a family member. So Sherry Sinyon, who was married to an Alaskan Native Athabascan man, they, at 68 or whatever, I think she was 65 or 68, when she went and got him, we took her and got him because she wasn't financially able to do that. And she's my friend, which is how we became the godparents of these 2 little kids. I'm here more because I've noticed, and Adam has complained, that he gets physically sick at school, and I can confirm that with, I think her name is Stephanie, Miss Stephanie, the secretary, and Michaela, that he has thrown up at school, and it's always before the math teacher's class. She's the one that he gets upset by the most. I guess Miss Rissy at one point had a problem with him, and we're not blaming the teachers, but for whatever reason, he is emotionally terrified of Miss Kallenbach, which is crazy. And I don't know if you have another math teacher. I don't know her whole situation. It's none of my business to know her history. But we had a birthday party for Adam at the bowling alley. And one of the other little girls, Bella, her party was that weekend, and her parents couldn't do anything, so we got her a cake, and it turned into a joint birthday party, which meant a bunch of the Native kids came for Adam and for her. And they all started telling us about how they feel, because they've seen him grow up. And they were all saying that she's mean to them. Miss Kallenbach is prejudiced against Native boys.
I want to interrupt you for a minute.
I know, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
I'm just want to interrupt you for a minute. Would you please refrain from using the staff members' names?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I totally forgot, but I'm sorry. So, hearing a lot of stuff from these kids lit me up. I got so upset, I called the director of education at Pine Ridge and the federal government person in charge of education with Native kids, because I'm convinced that there is a monetary value attached to each Native child that goes to school in Bennett County. There's a school, American Horse, I've seen the bus come here. So my thought was, if nothing else, I could have my kid go to American Horse and see how that goes, because that's, from my understanding, that's primarily a Native school. Now, I don't know about the Lakota people here, and I'm sure some of you guys are Lakota because you can't tell. But I'm from Alaska, where the suicide rate in boys, in Native Alaskan boys, is higher than it is in Afghanistan. And I have had my kid tell me he doesn't want to live. I will take him out of school and move him away and put him back in school somewhere else if I have to. We want to work with this. I mean, I moved here and bought a house. I wouldn't have bought a house if I didn't think I was going to live here and set down roots. But he's more important to me than a house, roots, or anything else.
And we just want to support it.
Yeah, we are here, and we are going to get his sister, which means you'll have 2 kids if we stay here. So I just am at a loss. I don't know what to do, except I know that she's a professional in helping kids with their fetal alcohol syndrome
Behavior.
and behavioral health. And the other thing that was really hurtful to me was when Chrissy came home crying because one of the little boys in a class was doing this kill the retard thing. I have a daughter, we have a daughter who's Down syndrome, who thank God lives in Alaska with my oldest daughter. Because if somebody did that to her here, I would be in prison. We can't, it's your responsibility to teach the kids, the parents, I'm sure your parents, the parents' responsibility to teach their children not to be mean to other people, not to be bullies. And the teacher should know better as well. So, that's my complaint. I want to work with you. Help me to help you.
Okay, your 5 minutes are up, ma'am.
Thank you.
As a board, we appreciate you being here and having the public input to the board. And I guess, let's see here, we have Anthony.
Yeah.
Topics to address, Board of Equalization, lack of attendance by
School board.
school board members.
Yeah.
And
the
bus
bus
route?
route, yeah.
Okay,
I attended the meeting on the 13th of September, just as an observer. I had no agenda. I just went to that meeting that night. Frankly, it was my first school board meeting I'd ever attended. So I thought, you know what? I want to check out to see what's going on at the school board. I'm running for District 27 State Senate, as some of you probably know. So I want to be a more informed candidate. There's nothing wrong with being an informed candidate because I want to know what's going on in the school district at the local level, and all across the district, which the district, by the way, is as big as Rhode Island and Connecticut. So there's a lot of territory to cover. So I thought it was prudent to come that night to listen. One of the things that I discovered that night, which caught my attention, was the fact that there was a bus route that needed to be approved at that meeting. Do you all recall that? Well, anyway, there was a gentleman here that night that wanted to speak about the school bus route, I guess. And he had raised his hand and he had said, "Can I speak?" And the superintendent said, "No, you may not speak." I wrote specifically, "The school board would not let a member of the public to speak at the school board meeting to object to the bus route. The superintendent of schools said that he had to be on the agenda to speak. He told him he was not allowed to speak. The business officer likewise told him before entering into executive session that he had to be on the agenda." That kind of concerns me as a taxpayer and a public, as a member of the public. Why isn't it a person allowed to speak at a school board meeting, especially when he's a taxpayer, paying for the teacher's salaries to get his child a good education? Now, I don't know the dispute on the bus route. Frankly, I don't care what the outcome is. But the fact is that there was a member of the community that night that wanted to speak, and he was not allowed to. Now, I understand there's a certain protocol involved with regards to getting on the agenda and so forth. I get that. But at the beginning of the meeting, if I recall correctly, you had said, "Is there any public comment?" And the superintendent said, "Nope, there's no public comment." And I'm like, I sat at the chair, and I didn't know there was, a form being floated around that there was, you had to get on a list, if you will, for public comment. So that's one thing I wanted to bring to your attention that caught me as just an outsider observing a meeting. The other thing that I've been kind of wanting to bring to the attention to the school board is the fact that there's a South Dakota Codified Law 10-11-13 with regards to the composition of local boards of equalization, time and place of annual meeting. The Board of Supervisors of each township and the governing body of each incorporated municipality, together with a member of the school board, or school boards, whose district comprises all or part of the township or municipality, shall meet on the third Monday of March for the purpose of equalizing the assessment of property in each township or municipality. According to the Bennett County Booster, on March the 29th publication, the local Board of Equalization was on Monday, March the 20th, and it says, quote, "The Bennett County School Board member was also absent," end quote. My question is, why? Where was a school board that member that night? Because I was at the local Board of Equalization meeting that night, appealing my property values, and part of my taxes is going towards the school district. Somebody from the school board member should have been there to take note of the fact that, for instance, I was complaining about my property values being too high. And as a result, my taxes more than likely will go up, and as a result, the school gets the benefits of that, a portion of that. My question is, why aren't you there to represent? That's all I'm saying. I'm all about transparency. That's what I will be running my campaign on, is transparency at the local and state level, at all levels. Because I think parents have a right to know. I'm currently getting my master's in elementary education. And one of the things that I've learned in my master's in elementary education talks about parental involvement in the child's education. I echo Michael's sentiment tonight about wanting, parental involvement in his child's education. I would support him 110% on that. Parents need to be involved in their child's education. And I think the school board is a representation, if you will, of the general public. And as such, they should take the general public's interest at heart. That's what I will be running on. But that is what I wanted to bring to your guys' attention tonight. What you decide with it is up to you. But I am taking notes on this, and I am sharing this with people in the general public. I think it's important that people attend their school board meetings. I opened up my eyes for the first time of what's happening at a school board meeting. It almost made me want to really run for office. But you know what? I'm running for a different office. And that's perfectly okay. Because I trust that you guys will do what's in the best interest of our community as a whole in this school district. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your input. As board members, we appreciate everybody being here this evening. And that is all we have for public comment, right? Okay. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
So,
Motion by Scott, is there a second? Second by Dallas. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion by Josh, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Caleb. Josh, you have bills, right?
Yep,
Anything?
everything was good.
Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Administrative and committee reports, I don't really have anything. I've got a Zoom meeting with Three Rivers Co-op on Wednesday, and we're going over new bylaws for the co-op, so that's all I have, so Patrick.
Yeah, I'll begin. I just returned from the NUSA, which is the National Indian Impact Schools Association Conference in Las Vegas, December 10th through the 12th. There were many beneficial presentations there this year. There was a couple of them that talked about how they've improved. They've gone from a TSI school, which is a school that's on improvement, and the ways that they have transformed and they've become a national distinguished school. There was another presentation by a group of students that just talked about different types of things that they've done in their school to also improve, and they talked about things that bother them in schools. They talked about bully teachers and things like that, so it was kind of interesting just to hear from those students and visit. And again, it was another great conference where you do a lot of networking with people from around the country and hear the things that they have going on in their schools and how they've done transform to improve. So again, I appreciate being able to go to those conferences and have that networking opportunity. I'd like to offer and recognize a generous donation by a member of the Bennett County community. Mr. Brady Hicks donated $1,995.57 back to the school district, which we're going to ear tag it to be used to purchase football equipment for all of our football programs. So thanks to Brady for that generous donation.
Was that his salary?
Huh?
Was that his salary?
Yes. Yeah, for those of you that don't, everybody knows that he coaches junior high football, so basically or high school, he donated his salary back to the school, so thanks again to him. Middle school update, building update, if you haven't been over there, I would encourage you to stop over there. There's two entrances on either the east side or west side that you can go in right now. They're making great headway. I was over there and took some pictures this morning. They do have the new BC up, which is on the west side of the building. It looks really nice in with the bricks. They got that completed. They took the other one out that's going to go in front of the high school. They took that out Saturday, and they're predicting that they'll probably put that in sometime in beginning of January. They're putting the walls up right now. They got about all the north walls in the building put up, so it's moving along quite quickly. So they got the door frames in, and the plumbing and electrical work rough-in is going well. Also, on Tuesday, December 5th, I attended our Three Rivers Co-op meeting in White River. The Co-op Executive Director, Dr. Julie Thyssen, and 3 member districts were represented at the meeting. The big topic of discussion was our January 19th Professional Development Day that's going to be held in Kadoka. What we did is each school district, all 5 member school districts, Julie put together a document to where teachers could present the mini lessons. So I think we have 2 from Bennett County that are gonna present in a mini session. And then we'll have motivational guest speaker Sean Coble is gonna present. We're gonna start that day about 9 in the morning, and then it should wrap up by 2 in the afternoon. So we're kind of excited about that. We're hoping the talks with the 5-member districts are looking at our calendars now and hopeful to get a PD day again that lines up in the future going on next year, so we can have these PD days. And obviously it's in Kadoka this year, but next year we might have it in Bennett County or Lyman or somewhere else. So we're all pretty excited about that. I think it's gonna be a great day. After the meeting, that was the day that Governor Noem presented, so I joined Superintendent Krogman in his office, and we watched Governor Noem's budget address, where she proposed a budget increase of 4% for education, which is higher than what everybody was thinking. I still don't think it's high enough when you consider inflation is close to 9%, but it was more than what we were expecting. We were gonna hear from her. She also spoke about a $6 million investment, one-time funding to continue to support evidence-based literacy framework in K-12 schools, which has been a good program that has been proven in many other states. And the other thing that she talked about, which we were glad to hear about, is the support for our JAG program, Jobs for Americans Graduates. They're going to continue to fund that, which is great for our school district, as we have one of the best JAG programs in the state of South Dakota. So all in all, it's things are looking pretty good for that. That's all I have. Any questions?
Thank you, Patrick. Great.
So we have 2 state representatives that we work with on our school success action plan. And we've identified 3 areas that we work on throughout this year: culture and climate, curriculum, and professional development. And at the halfway mark of the year, our state representatives say that we've exceeded expectations on that plan so far. We have a lot of work to do the second half of the year, but right now we're doing really well. So part of that plan is to report out to the board how that's going. So just so you know, we're a little ahead of schedule there. Our climate team that's working on school climate and culture. Right now we're in the process of collecting data. We're almost at the end of that process. We've done parent, student, and teacher surveys. We've had focus groups for parents and students. And we've started the mentoring program for struggling students, struggling with attendance, tardiness, and behavior in general. So that's just kicked off now. Curriculum, we're doing curriculum reviews in science and for our business classes throughout the course of this year, which will lead us to hopefully curriculum purchases that will improve what we have to offer the students in regards to our science classes and business classes. One thing I'm really excited about is that this year for winter activities, we're sitting at 56.3% of the student body is participating, 71 out of 126 of our students. Last year at this time, we were at 31%. I think that's outstanding. It's what I like to see, because as I'm sure you know, that participation in extracurricular activities has been proven to increase academic success and increase graduation rates at high school. One of our seniors, Tegan Cole, went to Washington, D.C. as part of our JAG program. She's the state secretary, so she's one of the 5 statewide JAG officers. And that was a leadership conference where they network and they learn how to be state and national JAG leaders and just leaders in general. So that was an exciting opportunity for her. And lastly, Mrs. Song students just a couple of days ago had a science culminating presentation in the Warrior Center, where they presented all their first half of the year, science projects to parents, teachers, and community in the commons area. So those are some really cool. She's an outstanding teacher. She really gets the kids to go above and beyond what I think they would normally be able to do. So those projects are really exciting for me to see. Any questions?
What grades do you work with?
High school.
Thank you.
And I know Adam. I was principal in McLaughlin.
Oh. So you know his history.
Any questions from Craig? Thank you, Craig. Caleb?
We have, our one act play performance is tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. They will be competing in January, at the district competition, so, January 22nd is their competition date. At the Olympics, so Mrs. Rissy has finished up getting, teams chosen, and that's going to be starting in January. We believe we have enough students, we have enough students to have 2 teams going this year instead of 1. So we're determined to beat Pierre. Pierre keeps reminding us that they have the trophy. We're determined to try to get that right. So our Olympics is getting started. We had our first spelling bee in the middle school. It was held on December 6th, and we had great participation from our students. It was amazing to see just who participated, especially some of our really quiet kids did such an amazing job of getting up there and spelling. I will always remember the word that got me out in 3rd grade. So a top kid from each class will be going to Rapid City to represent our school. And I don't remember that date right off the top of my head, so I know I have it marked down somewhere. We did some Friday work makeup days. We had a 6th grade day, a 7th grade, 8th grade day that we held before. And then we will, just like everybody else, have some Friday dates that we will be working on, having students come in. It won't just be makeup dates, it's going to be times for students that really need some extra help or extra time to be able to come in, and those will start in January. We hosted a Donuts with Grown-Ups at our middle school. We only had 5 parents attend. A lot of parents forgot, but that's okay. But we had donuts for breakfast that morning. We're just finishing up our mid-year testing so that we'll be able to go over that data on January 5th and be able to look at some of the things that we need to work on or give shout outs to. So that's all I have.
Questions? Thank you, Michaela. Amy, no, Riley, I'm sorry about that. Riley.
Can't speak to you.
So if you guys have the chance to come over to the elementary school, they're doing a competition for a door decorating contest, and they've gone all out. It's probably too much, but it's pretty cool. Mr. Frederick and Miss Amy are gonna come over and help me judge tomorrow. So it's fun. They had a lot of fun. Teachers and kids got really into it, so school looks awesome right now. Today we had, so we surplused a bunch of laptops here, I think last month or 2 months ago, and we've been trying to get rid of them, and we had 11 kids who haven't missed a day of school all semester, so we decided that since we're not getting rid of them, instead of throwing away, the 11 kids who have been here every single day got a laptop, so they thought that was pretty awesome. Some of the kids' faces when you said that they got a laptop, I was like, oh my gosh. So it was good, they really liked it. Testing is done with all of our classes, and then we actually, with our programs that we use, we're able to test our lower kids to see where their needs are really at and where they really need to work on. So they did our main testing, and the kids that that were in the red, we really wanted to focus in on what they need to work on and how we could get them better. So we did extra testing with them to see where they're at going forward for this next semester, just to really hit on the stuff that they're behind in. We had our family engagement meeting with Miss Amy to figure out our goals and stuff moving forward. We're really focusing on getting everybody on the app so we can get people engaged and get families on there. And then our Christmas concert was awesome, a huge success. And I just want to thank all the teachers that helped out. We still have the big old decorations that they have still up, because there's just too much to throw away, so, and then thank you to Joe Bowles, our music teacher, for setting everything up. Also, I need to apologize about the basketball game. There was a communication error between the refs, and it will not happen again. I'm good.
And congratulations to the wrestling team for
And
winning the other night.
congratulations to the rest of the team, it was awesome. I guess they were the talk of the whole week, even during the basketball, so.
Questions? Thank you, Riley. Amy?
I don't have a lot to, other than what's on my agenda already, but, I do wanna talk about the food service administrative review. Amanda and I had never done one before. It was a little intense and a little overwhelming, but, we had very minimal things that they wanted us, that we had to write anything back. One of them was, sometimes the oranges are not as quite as big as these mandarin oranges, yeah. Sometimes they're just not quite enough. She said, we need to put 2, and then the other one was, we don't track our training like we're supposed to. I didn't know we were supposed to. So a lot of it was a learning experience for both of us, so, but we will do 100% next time, so. And then we did have a family fun night last week, and we had 230 people that we fed and entertained. It was an awesome turnout, and I do wanna thank the teachers who came and helped. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun, and I think the kids had fun. There was a lot of glitter on the floor when we were done. So, I apologize to Harlow. Yeah, it was bad, but they made a lot of glitter and stuff, so it was fun. Oh, and our carryover has been approved for Title II, so that's pretty much what happened.
Questions? Thank you, Amy. Joe? Nothing, okay. Item number 73-24, entertain a motion to accept the following contract for 2023-2024 school year. Quentin Rebier, Lakota language instructor, $23,780. Motion by Dallas, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Scott. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 74-24. Motion to approve membership in the Three Rivers Special Services Cooperative for the 2024-2025 school year.
So moved.
Motion by Scott, second?
Second.
Second by Keith. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to accept the 2024 election agreement between the City of Martin and the Benton County School District for the April 9th, 2024 school election.
So moved.
Motion by Dallas, second by Josh. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. I need a motion to void the following checks due to lack of presentation. Four Seasons, $150. New York Life, $1,604.63. Benton County Senior Citizens, $100. Francis Tunget, $25. Number tow check, $87.66. Lakota Nation Invitational, $300. And Crescent Rosane, $43.46.
So moved.
Motion by Josh, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Jeff. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Right here. Item 77-24, motion to set date and time for January board meeting for January 15th, 2024 in the library community room.
And you don't have to. I don't see any conflicts for it, so it's good.
We don't need that.
We don't need it.
All right, good job. What's up on this? Motion to accept updated return to school continuity of service plan for 2023-2024. You should have had that in your documents.
We just have to update it every 6 months, and I assume this is gonna go away pretty quickly, pretty soon. It's just something that they require us to do right now, so.
So,
Motion by Scott. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dallas. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 79-24, I need a motion to enter executive session for personnel matters pursuant to SDCL 1-25-21, student issue pursuant to SDCL 1-25-22, negotiations pursuant to SDCL 1-25-24, legal issues pursuant to SDCL 1-25-23. Motion by Scott, second by Josh, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.